Remember that sad scene in Monsters Inc. where Sully brings Boo back home? I do. Many people cried to that scene. After my encounters of the altered drafts of Whence He Loved Me and I Will Go Sailing No More, there's yet another depressing Pixar experience I've had. It all started when I was playing Disney Extreme Skate Adventure on the Dolphin emulator. The character I was playing as was Woody, and I was in Andy's house. Just then, my free time was interrupted by a sudden buzz on my phone. When I opened up my iPhone, it was yet another Google Mail notification from Pixar. Hello, Rowan. We've heard you encountered the ultra draft of I Will Go Sailing No More from Toy Story and Once You Loved Me from Toy Story 2. Now we want to sail a fire with you, which is the altered scene of Kitty Has to Go from Monsters Inc. Please watch for yourself. The Pixar team. I was baffled. I got another email from Pixar. I accepted the email and there was a link to a file. I downloaded it straight away to my computer to watch it. The file name is Monsters Inc. Kitty Has to Go alternate ending.mov. Before the video started, there was a disclaimer. This scene of Monsters Inc. has been changed to be less dark and more appropriate for our target audience. Please watch if you need to. I got a sad feeling about this, I said to myself. The video started with Sully pressing on the control panel to activate Boo's door and the light lit up. Mike bid Boo a farewell in which she embraced him and he embraced her back. Boo then held Sully's hand to walk into her room. The scene was normal, however, there was a heartbreaking change. Goodbye, Boo, Sully said sadly to Boo as he was in her bed. Kitty, Boo sadly replied. Kitty has to go, Sully spoke, about to cry. That's probably a horrible Sully impression. I apologize for that. Boo and Sully then tearfully embraced, but the tears in Sully's eyes were more noticeable and they were streaming down his face. Number two let go. They heard footsteps and muffled voices through the walls. Sully heard this, thinking it was Boo's parents. He then proceeded to run out of Boo's room and close her wardrobe so her parents wouldn't see him. Boo's other door opened, and they were, in fact, her parents. Boo's father had black hair, brown eyes, and a scar above his eye as dried blood was visible, while Boo's mother had dark chocolate brown hair, green eyes, and her arm was in a sling, and blood can be seen absorbed into it. The parents then gasped, noticing their long-lost daughter safe in her room. Oh, sweetie, there you are. We were so worried about you, Boo's mother said before embracing her. Mommy? Daddy? Boo asked as he jumped out of her bed and clenched her Jessie doll. We thought you have run away. Yesterday, a purple lizard attacked us and you weren't there. We thought he would have kidnapped you. This explains why we look like this, said Boo's father. Boo gasped. She realized why her parents looked like this. Sully was eavesdropping from behind the door back in the monster world. He was shocked to hear that her parents were attacked by Randall. Mike was stunned. He felt horrible for the way he used to treat and talk about Boo. Where were you anyway, honey? Boo's father asked. Boo pointed to her wardrobe, talking baby talk, but I understood she was telling them about the monster world. There's no such thing as monsters, but as long as you're safe, we will always love you, said Boo's mother, before kissing her on the cheek, tucking her into bed. Boo's parents then walked out of the door. Just then, her wardrobe door opened, and it was Sully looking at her for one more time, but with more noticeable tears in his eyes. There was dialogue-less silence before Sully closed the door. And so the scene as seen in the final film itself, where Boo climbed out of bed to her wardrobe door to give Sully one more scare, but it was full of clothes and toys. Kitty? Boo asked softly, and then Soda saw Boo's door getting shredded by the CDA. None of this ever happened, gentlemen, Roz said, as heard in the final film, and I don't want to see any paperwork on this. She then slithered away with CDA, leaving Sully and Mike alone in the simulation boy's room. A soundtrack with a similar tune to When She Left Me from Toy Story 2 played as the two monsters looked at each other. So, what happened? Mike asked, wanting to know about the incident. Well, Randall attacked Boo's parents. He would have killed them, Sully moaned sadly. After saying those words, Sully began to sob silently as tears began streaming down his face. Mike then had another look of despair on his face. He then lifted his head down with a tear in his eyes and he started to cry realistically and quietly. The sobbing was too real to be faked by Billy Crystal. It sounded like he was in a deep sorrow. Mike realized how much of a jerk he was during the film before reconciling with Sully. Just then, he stopped crying and found a piece of Boo's door left on the ground. Just then, a shot from the final film played with Mike giving Sully the piece of Boo's door. Sully looked at it before letting out a sad sigh, and the video faded to black, ending the video. I was in so much tears, I couldn't hold back my emotions anymore. I clasped my hands over my face and sobbed quietly. I never cried to any sad scene from Monsters Inc., but I cried to a non-sad scene of a film where Sully puts Boo to sleep in his bed, mainly because of the music. Petty reason, I know. I posted the file on Google Drive. This video is called For Rowan Only. I deleted the file on my laptop. That night, I slept with both my Jessie doll and Sully plush so they can have the love from a human they want. Like I said before, Pixar movies can make people laugh, but they can make them cry too.